The rain had been falling since morning, soft at first and then heavier as the afternoon crawled toward evening. Daniel sat alone in his small apartment, staring at the blinking red notification on his laptop screen. The email subject line read simply, "You need to see this." At first he thought it was another scam or advertisement. His inbox was full of them. But something about the message felt strange. The sender had no name, only an address made of random letters and numbers. He hesitated before clicking it, feeling a quiet unease rise inside his chest. When he opened the email, there was nothing except a single link and a short sentence. "This video is meant for you." Daniel frowned. His finger hovered above the trackpad. For a moment he considered deleting it and forgetting about it, but curiosity pulled at him in a way he could not explain. He clicked the link. The screen opened to a video player. The title said nothing. No description, no comments, no channel name, just a blank page and the video waiting to be played. He pressed play. At first, the screen was black. Only the sound of faint static filled the room. Daniel leaned closer, confused. Then slowly the image appeared. A dimly lit room came into view. An old wooden chair sat in the middle, facing the camera. The lighting was weak, as if coming from a single lamp somewhere out of frame. Daniel felt his heartbeat quicken. Someone walked into the frame and sat down on the chair. The moment the person lifted their face toward the camera, Daniel stopped breathing. It was him, not someone who looked like him. It was exactly him. Same eyes, same scar above the left eyebrow, same tired expression. Daniel pushed his chair back suddenly, his heart racing. What the hell? He leaned forward again, unable to look away. The man on the screen spoke. "Daniel, if you're watching this, it means you finally opened the email." The voice was identical to his own. Daniel felt cold. The man in the video rubbed his face slowly, as if exhausted. "I know this is going to sound impossible. I barely believe it myself. But you need to listen carefully because your life depends on it." Daniel whispered to the empty room, "What is this?" The version of him on the screen looked directly into the camera. "I'm you, or at least a future version of you." Daniel laughed nervously, shaking his head. "Yeah, right." But the laughter quickly faded, because the man continued speaking with the kind of seriousness that was impossible to fake. 3 years from now, something terrible happens. A mistake that changes everything. Daniel's stomach tightened. "You're going to receive a phone call tomorrow night at exactly 10:17 p.m. The call will come from an unknown number. You'll almost ignore it, but you won't. You'll answer." Daniel's eyes widened. The man leaned closer to the camera. "Do not answer that call." The video suddenly cut to static. Daniel stared at the screen. "That's it?" he muttered. He replayed the video again. The message was exactly the same. No extra explanation. No clue who made it or how. He spent the rest of the evening trying to convince himself it was just a strange prank. Maybe someone had edited his face into the video using some advanced software. That had to be it. But deep down, something about it felt too real. The next day he tried to forget about it. He went to work, talked to co-workers, forced himself into normal routines. But the memory of the video stayed in the back of his mind like a shadow. When night finally came, Daniel found himself sitting on the edge of his couch, staring at the clock. 10:14 p.m. He laughed softly at himself. "You're really doing this?" 10:16 p.m. His phone lay on the table. At 10:17 p.m. The phone rang. Daniel's blood ran cold. The screen showed exactly what the video had described. A no number. For several seconds, he just stared at it, frozen. The ringing continued. His mind raced with possibilities. Maybe this was all some elaborate coincidence. Maybe answering the call would prove the whole thing was fake. Or maybe the warning was real. The phone kept ringing. Daniel slowly reached toward it. His fingers hovered above the screen. Then he remembered the look in the eyes of the man in the video. Fear. Real fear. Daniel pulled his hand back. The phone stopped ringing. Silence filled the apartment. He let out a breath he didn't realize he had been holding. A moment later, a notification appeared. Voicemail. His curiosity burned again. After a few seconds, he pressed play. At first, there was only the sound of breathing. Then a woman's voice spoke softly. "Daniel, please answer. I know you're there." His chest tightened. He recognized the voice immediately. It was Emily, his ex-girlfriend. They had broken up 2 years ago after a painful argument neither of them had ever resolved. The voicemail continued. I know you probably hate me, but something happened tonight. I didn't know who else to call. Her voice trembled. I'm scared. Daniel's heart twisted. The message ended. He sat there for a long time, staring at nothing. Every instinct inside him told him to call her back. But the warning from the video echoed in his mind. Do not answer that call. Hours passed before he finally fell asleep on the couch. The next morning, sunlight filled the room. Daniel woke up feeling restless and confused. He checked his phone again. No new messages. But later that afternoon, his phone buzzed with a news alert. His stomach dropped when he read it. A late-night car accident leaves one woman seriously injured. He opened the article. The name of the victim was Emily Carter. Daniel felt like the air had been knocked out of him. The article explained that she had crashed her car into a guardrail shortly after 10:30 p.m. the previous night. Investigators believed she had been distracted while driving. Daniel stared at the screen with shaking hands. If he had answered the call, she might have been talking to him instead of looking at her phone. Or maybe she was calling him while driving. His chest filled with guilt. Suddenly he understood something terrifying. The warning in the video hadn't been meant to save him. It had been meant to save her. Daniel rushed to the hospital. When he arrived, Emily was unconscious but alive. Tubes and machines surrounded her hospital bed. He sat beside her for hours, thinking about the strange message from his future self. Eventually, she opened her eyes. When she saw him sitting there, tears filled them. You came. Daniel gently took her hand. I'm here. Her voice was weak. I tried calling you last night. I didn't know who else to talk to. Daniel felt a painful knot in his chest. I know. For a long time, neither of them spoke. Then Emily whispered something that made Daniel freeze. I kept thinking, if you had answered, maybe things would be different. Daniel looked down at her hand in his. Maybe the future could be changed. Maybe the video had been sent for a reason. He squeezed her hand softly. Maybe things are different, he said quietly. Emily smiled faintly. And for the first time in years, Daniel felt something he thought he had lost forever. Hope.